after many, many years of lies being told about me and my family, there comes a point where, again, going back to the relationship between certain members of the family and the tabloid press.
There was no speech, no defiant stare at the cameras, just the tightening of his jaw and the heavy silence of a man who knows something has just ended. Welcome to Crown Scandals. What you're seeing on screen isn't just a prince leaving a building. It's the exact moment a multi-million-pound gamble collapsed in real time. Prince Harry walked into Britain's highest court expecting victory, the final chapter in what he once called the crusade of his life. Instead, he walked straight into a legal ambush. The doors closed behind him, sealing a ruling that didn't just deny his claims. It dismantled his entire strategy. Harry came looking for validation. The court came armed with evidence. And when the judgment landed, the quiet disintegration of hope inside that room was impossible to miss. Stay with us, because what the headlines call a setback, we call a financial and legal bloodbath. In the next few minutes, we're breaking down the trap his lawyers missed, the staggering bill he now faces, and the secret reason Prince William solved this same problem years ago, without losing a single pound. The moment it fell apart to understand why Harry stormed out the way he did, we have to rewind to the seconds before the ruling was read. In high-stakes courtrooms, verdicts aren't always delivered in speeches. Sometimes, they're delivered in a glance. According to people inside the room, there was a moment, quiet, almost invisible, when everything collapsed. The air was thick. Years of public battles and millions of pounds hung in silence. Harry sat forward, waiting for what he believed would be recognition of his truth. But his legal team saw something else. A subtle shift, a tightening of hands on the table, a brief, uneasy exchange of eyes between senior barristers. No notes were passed, no papers shuffled, just a look. In courtroom language, that look means only one thing: it's over. The question that killed the case moments earlier, the judge, Mr. Justice Fancourt, had asked a single, devastating question. Not about trauma, not about betrayal, not about the ethics of the press. He asked about dates. Why are we hearing this now? Harry had framed his case as a moral reckoning. The judge treated it like what it was, a legal one. While Harry spoke in emotion, the court looked at the calendar. That's when the realization hit. Observers say Harry looked down, not defeated, but stunned. He hadn't lost an argument. He'd lost to time. This wasn't a courtroom battle anymore. It was a procedural execution. The time bar trap. In British law, there's a rule that decides cases before they ever reach a jury. It's called the statute of limitations. You generally have 6 years to bring a claim after discovering you've been wronged. Harry was suing over alleged phone hacking from the mid-2000s. Do the math. This was nearly 2 decades later. By legal standards, the clock wasn't just expired, it was buried. But Harry had a counterattack, and it was explosive. The secret agreement defense. Harry claimed he didn't sue earlier because he was stopped. He told the court there was a hidden deal, a quiet pact between Buckingham Palace and newspaper executives. According to him, the royal family was encouraged to stay silent, with the promise that settlements would come later, privately, without dragging the monarchy into court. It fit his narrative perfectly. The palace, the press, and him, trapped in the middle. If the judge believed this agreement existed, the time limit could be lifted. But then came the ruling, and it was surgical. The judge's verdict, Justice Fancourt, didn't just reject the claim. He dismantled it. Where was the proof? No contracts, no emails, no documents, no witnesses, only Harry's memory. The court found his account inconsistent and unsupported. Even his own former lawyers appeared unaware of this so-called ironclad deal. Worse, the judge pointed out that Harry had known about phone hacking years earlier. He had consulted legal advisors. He wasn't powerless. The ruling suggested something far less dramatic than a palace conspiracy. It suggested delay. Harry didn't miss the deadline because he was blocked. He missed it because he waited. And because he waited, he lost. The bulk of his case was thrown out, not on morality, but on mechanics. The price of losing, and here's where it gets brutal. In the UK, the loser doesn't just lose the case. They pay the winner's lawyers. Harry didn't just walk out defeated. He walked out holding a financial grenade. Legal experts estimate costs in battles like this can reach millions of pounds. Top barristers charge 4 figures an hour. And because his claims were dismissed, Harry may now be responsible for covering the publisher's defense costs. In an earlier hearing alone, he was ordered to pay nearly £50,000 on the spot. Now scale that up. This isn't a fine. It's a financial drain that could chew through a significant chunk of his memoir and media deal earnings. Ironically, every loss means Harry is paying money to the very media empire he says he's fighting. The brother who played it differently. And then the court revealed something that cut even deeper. Harry wasn't the only one who was hacked. Prince William was, too. But William didn't go to war. Court documents confirm that William quietly settled his own claim in 2020. No cameras, no speeches, no Netflix cruise. He negotiated. He secured a payout.
And he closed the chapter.
2 brothers. Same injustice. 2 completely different strategies. William played chess. Harry threw punches. And in trying to save his case, Harry's own testimony exposed details of William's private settlement, something the future king had deliberately kept out of the spotlight. One brother protected the institution. The other put it on trial. The catharsis delusion. This wasn't just a legal fight. It was emotional. Harry didn't want a settlement. He wanted acknowledgement. He wanted a judge to say, publicly, that he was right, that he had been hunted, targeted, wronged. But courts aren't therapy sessions. They don't deal in validation. They deal in statutes, deadlines, and proof. Harry brought pain to a system that only recognizes procedure. He tried to cash a check written in emotion at a bank that only accepts evidence.
And it bounced.
The final image as Harry stepped outside the court, cameras caught the silence. No statement. No victory. Just a man standing in the shadow of a loss that cost him more than money. Because this wasn't just about a case.
It was about a realization.
There's a difference between being morally right and being legally victorious. Your verdict. So now, the final judgment belongs to you. Is Prince Harry a hero fighting a corrupt system to the bitter end? Or a gambler chasing losses in a battle he can't win? Type team fight if you think he should keep going. Type team stop if you think it's time to walk away. This is Crown Scandals. We don't just follow the headlines. We break down what's behind them.
Subscribe.
Ring the bell. Because the case may be over, but the fallout is just beginning.